Good morning on a brisk morning, October 10th. Over here in the sheep pasture, giving a real quick update on Mac and Indy, our new LGDs, as they are integrating with Honey and Coda. Still keeping them pent up at night in their hoop house, just to make sure that they're getting acclimated with the sheep. And hey, Indy, quit biting me. She's kind of a little biter. She likes no bite. So when she does it, I grab her muzzle. Mac is a sweet little boy. He's really growing though. I mentioned in our last video, we took a quick trip out to Parker, Colorado for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And I feel like when I got back, I feel like the dogs had grown quite a bit. But maybe that's just me being gone for a few days. But we're locking the pups up here at night. We're actually starting to train them to this dog feeder. Got the Pet Lodge Chow Hound. So we're keeping that door open for right now, just so they get to know that's where the food is. This door actually folds down. It's actually just held right now with the magnet. So that'll be good. So at some point they can do that. We're leaving it open for now, so they can learn that. Pretty brisk this morning, about 38 degrees. But man, hey, Indy, stay down. Indy is a lot of energy. Mac's got a real sweet energy to him. He's a real sweet pup. He loves getting pets, but they are getting real acclimated well. Mac is very submissive, likes to roll over and get some belly rubs. But we keep them locked up at night just to make sure that they're not playing with the sheep. Indy's only wanted to get playful once or twice with them, but all the sheep are doing well. One thing I wanted to chat about in this video is I'm realizing my sheep system, my fencing system is awful. It was great when I had a lot fewer sheep. It might have even been good up to about 25 sheep. But when I say it's awful, it's too labor intensive. When you've got 70 sheep, with the amount of food they eat, I mean, these mouths can really grub down the grass. There's a reason that they're called prairie maggots. They can actually really damage your pasture. So making large areas, it's quite labor intensive. You know, I just moved them in here last night, and I'll probably only leave them in this area for today, and I'll probably move them this evening, just to make sure they're not eating it down too much. Right now we do have a little bit of a frost on the grass, which is about the extent of the moisture we've received. I'm actually happy when I come out in the morning and we have, dew on the windshields and on the grass, because we have just gotten zero rain. So it's nice. The temperatures are cooling. I wanted to give a shout out to Missy, who I met this past weekend out in Parker. She was very interested in asking me about Honey and Coda and Indy and Mac. So Missy, wanted to say thanks for following the channel and being invested in what we're doing. So I wanted to give you a shout out. But the dogs are good. They tend to be playing with themselves quite a bit. One thing about guard dogs here, this is courtesy of Coda. It's not hot right now, but it's cool. So he dug a little almost foxhole for him so he can burrow down. Whenever I move the sheep, I'm always having to fill these holes in. Hey, honey. But the two little ones seem to be really bond into each other. Indy will come along faster, I think, than Mac will. Indy tends to sit off with Honey and watch the sheep. But the sheep are all doing pretty good. We do have one that's been fighting an injury on her leg, and that's from a few weeks ago, and I think that's an injury courtesy of this girl right here. And I think it's going to be kind of permanent. She's got I don't know if her back leg got broken, but I think she had some ligament damage. So thankfully it's her back leg, so she can get around easy. But as we're getting ready to move into some cooler weather, I got to make sure I'm moving the hay trailers along with. Luckily we haven't had any wind. If we had some wind right now, it could be a lot cooler. But as far as the training goes, the first week or two we've had Indy and Mac, I've tried putting them in with the rams. They were small enough where they could either go underneath and get out, or they could pop through the cattle panel that's on the Lamborghini here. But I'm going to try putting them in again this week, just to split them up a little bit for some hours at a time. T-minus 3 weeks until we let these guys out. So these are our 3 youngest rams. They're looking pretty good. They've kind of gotten plumped out. They've grown quite a bit, so that's really great. And then here's Mr. Ram. He's a big ram. He's a good boy. He's a nice ram. I hear stories of people that say, yeah, we can't go into the same pasture with our ram. I've never been concerned about him being aggressive. Now that might change as he gets older, but I'm hoping not. He's always been a good little ram. So I split him out while we were gone, just so that they wouldn't grub the pasture down in their cages here. So I'll be doing some videos as we start to transition the flock to training on the hot wire. Not excited about training the dogs to hot wire, as I'm sure they'll touch it and get zapped. But the sheep are all kind of interested. Yeah, don't chase. I know you get a little excited. You're such a good girl. You get pretty dirty. Maybe she just shows the dirt more because she's white, but she's a sweet girl. Yeah, I love Max coloring. He's just a pretty dog. He's gonna be a big one. But Honey's getting along well with them. Still growls at him a little bit based on some food stuff or if she's really sleepy, but getting along really well, doing a good job of teaching them. So breeding season coming up in about 3 weeks, so we're looking forward to that. So far it seems like Mac and Indy are integrating in with the big dogs, having fun being puppies. Real happy with how things are going so far. So stay tuned. We'll start trying to transition our fencing system that can accommodate moving 70 sheep a little bit better than the netting. It probably takes me to take down the old fencing, set up the new paddock. You know, it probably takes an hour if I'm doing 5 to 6 strands of new fence. Yeah, it's just labor intensive. So I'm realizing that we're gonna need to modify our system here. So, but from a brisk morning here at the home place, the sheep are all doing pretty good. I'm sure they enjoy the cooler weather. Everyone's kind of waking up, starting to get their breakfast. What you think, honey? Was it a busy night? As the temperature's cool, I feel like there's a lot more activity at night with Honey. I come out and check them sometimes just to make sure that they're doing okay. I know Honey seemed like when we got back from being gone for a couple days, that was the first time I'd been gone, she was a little needy. She didn't understand why we were gone. So she's a good dog. But the sheep are all staying pretty fat, which I'm thankful that they're staying healthy given our grass situation. It's you know, in a drought, feeding these animals and rotating them. I got to move the cattle herds today. It's just yeah, we just haven't gotten much regrowth, and now we're getting here to the end of the season. So this week I'm actually going to be going and picking up more hay that I bought. So it's been a bad year for having to buy a lot of hay to make sure we get through the winter. Last winter didn't start feeding hay until the middle of December, and this year I'll have to start feeding hay much earlier. I'm actually estimating that I'll be feeding hay by for sure the middle of November, maybe even a little earlier. So stocking up to make sure that we don't get it or we don't run out, so we can make it all the way through the winter time. So that's the update from the sheep pasture. We just keep trying to keep them moving, keep them healthy. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Missy, thanks a lot for your interest in the dogs and the ranch. I want to give you a shout out again. And hope you guys have a blessed day. God bless. And we'll see you next time.